the psychology of the 1% rule. What if I told you that the secret to extraordinary success is not hidden in massive leaps, sudden breakthroughs, or overnight transformations, but in something so small, so ordinary, that most people ignore it completely? This is the mystery of the 1% rule. Imagine this: two people start on the same path, side by side. One believes success requires big, bold moves. He waits for the perfect moment, the once-in-a-lifetime chance to change everything overnight. The other chooses a quieter, less glamorous path. He decides, every day, to improve by just 1%. A little more discipline, a slightly better choice, a single small action that compounds over time. Now, here's the question: after one day, can you see a difference? Not really. After a week? Barely noticeable. After a month? Still small. But after a year, the difference is staggering. Because small daily choices multiply into massive results. This is the psychology that separates the few who rise to the top 1% from the many who remain stuck in mediocrity. We live in a world obsessed with instant results. Everyone wants the shortcut, the hack, the breakthrough moment. People dream of sudden wealth, overnight fame, instant success. But here's the truth: success almost never happens in giant leaps. The brain loves dramatic stories, but real transformation is quiet, invisible, almost boring in the beginning. Think about fitness. Someone buys a gym membership, goes for 2 weeks, doesn't see change, and quits. Why? Because they were expecting results in days, not years. Yet someone else goes consistently, adding a little more weight each week, eating slightly healthier each day, sleeping a bit better. After 12 months, that person has transformed, not because of one big effort, but because of thousands of micro-decisions. This is where psychology comes in. Our minds are wired to seek quick rewards. If we don't see progress right away, we convince ourselves that it doesn't work, but the 1% rule requires patience, discipline, and most importantly, faith in the invisible. Here's the math behind the magic. If you improve by 1% each day for a year, you don't just get 365% better. Because of compound growth, you end up 37 times better. Think about that. A small daily improvement creates exponential growth. And the opposite is also true. If you decline by just 1% each day, the damage compounds, and you fall into decline faster than you can imagine. This is why tiny habits matter more than big goals. Goals set direction, but habits build destiny. It's not about doing everything at once, it's about doing the right thing repeatedly. Let's look at how this plays out in real life. Take Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in the world. People see billions, mansions, and wealth beyond imagination. But do you know what created it? Not sudden luck, not one big deal, but compounding. Buffett himself said, "My wealth has come from a combination of living in America, lucky genes, and compound interest." He started investing small sums as a teenager. Year after year, he reinvested, improved his judgment by just a little, and let time do the heavy lifting. The result? A fortune that seemed impossible in the beginning. Or think of athletes like Kobe Bryant. He wasn't born the greatest basketball player. In fact, when he was young, he wasn't even close to the best. But what did he do? Every morning, while others were still sleeping, Kobe was in the gym, shooting thousands of practice shots. Each one might not have looked like much, but over years, they created mastery. That's the 1% rule in motion. And even in history, Thomas Edison. He didn't create the light bulb in one giant breakthrough. He tested thousands of materials, each experiment just one step closer, one adjustment, 1% improvement. Until finally, he succeeded. What do these stories teach us? That greatness is rarely the result of one moment of genius, but of countless small actions that compound into history-changing results. Why does the 1% rule work so powerfully? Because it hacks the way our brains process growth and failure. First, it lowers resistance. The biggest reason people quit is because goals feel overwhelming. Lose 30 kilos. Build $1 million business. Run a marathon. The brain sees the mountain, panics, and shuts down. But when you tell yourself, just 1% better today, it feels doable. You trick the brain into action by shrinking the challenge. Second, it builds identity. Every small win sends a signal to your brain: I am the type of person who grows, and identity is stronger than motivation. Motivation fades, identity lasts. If you run for 5 minutes today, you may not be fit yet, but you are becoming a runner. If you read for 10 minutes daily, you may not be a scholar yet, but you are shaping the identity of a learner. Third, it creates momentum. Momentum is the invisible force that makes success feel inevitable. At first, small actions feel invisible. But once momentum builds, it's like a snowball rolling downhill, unstoppable. This is why people who embrace the 1% rule often look unstoppable after a few years. Because they are no longer relying on willpower, they are powered by identity and momentum. But let's flip the coin. Just as positive choices compound, so do negative ones. Skipping the gym today seems harmless. Spending recklessly this month doesn't feel catastrophic. Eating junk food this week feels small. But when repeated, these choices create a silent 1% decline. Over time, health collapses, finances weaken, relationships deteriorate. The tragedy: most people don't even realize it's happening until it's too late. That's the scary psychology of neglect. The brain downplays small negative actions because they don't hurt immediately. But success and failure are not built in days, they are built in decades. And by then, the results are irreversible. This is why the 1% rule is not just about growth, it's about protection. Protecting your future self from the consequences of small, repeated declines. So the question becomes, how do we apply this rule in real life? The first step is awareness. Pay attention to your small daily choices. Ask yourself, is this action moving me 1% forward, or 1% backward? Success and failure are rarely about dramatic moments, they are built in the quiet decisions nobody sees. The second step is consistency. Doing something once doesn't matter. Doing something small every single day does. Reading 10 minutes today might not change your life, but reading 10 minutes every day for a year could reshape your knowledge, your career, your opportunities. The third step is patience. The hardest part of the 1% rule is trusting results you can't yet see. Most people quit too early because the beginning feels invisible. Remember this: in the first phase, your results are hidden. In the second phase, they become visible. And in the third phase, they feel unstoppable. But you'll only reach the third phase if you survive the invisible first phase. The fourth step is reflection. Every week, pause and measure progress. Not to compare yourself with others, but to see how far you've come from yesterday. Progress compounds when it's noticed and celebrated. And finally, the fifth step, identity shift. Don't just do small habits. Become the kind of person who lives by them. Tell yourself, I am the type of person who improves every day, because once you change identity, action follows naturally. Think for a moment, what would your life look like a year from now if you truly committed to improving just 1% daily? Your body. Healthier. Stronger. More energetic. Your mind. Sharper, wiser, more disciplined. Your career. More skills, more opportunities, more income. Your relationships. Deeper, richer, more meaningful. Now stretch that vision: 5 years. 10 years. The gap between who you are now and who you could become is massive. And yet, it doesn't come from magic, from luck, or from one big decision. It comes from tiny daily improvements that compound into greatness. This is why the 1% rule is so powerful. It's not about doing the impossible. It's about doing the small things consistently, until they make the impossible look effortless. Let me ask you this: what's stopping you? Not your background. Not your resources. Not even your past mistakes. The only thing stopping you is the belief that small steps don't matter. But now you know the truth. Small steps are everything. They are the hidden path to the top 1%. Every day you wake up, you are faced with a choice. To get a little better or a little worse. To move forward or to slide backward. To design your future or to drift into regret. And here's the most powerful truth: your future self is being shaped right now by the 1% you choose today. So remember this: success is not built in a day. It is built day by day. The 1% rule may look small in the moment, but over time, it becomes the difference between the ordinary and the extraordinary. Don't wait for the big leap. Start with the small step. Because the path to greatness is only ever 1% away. And if this story inspired you today, imagine what embracing the 1% rule could do for your entire life. Here we learn, aspire, master, reflect, and evolve together. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with someone who needs this reminder, because success is just 1% away, every single day.